Live from Los Angeles, we are Frosty, Heidi, and Frank. If you're around Friday, around Knott's Berry Farm, come on by. We'll be doing the show from there live. More specific information later in the week about exactly where we'll be. But we'll be at Knott's Berry Farm on Friday live for a live show.
Oh, yeah.
Heidi Hamilton.
Me, I'm sorry.
Queen Laqueef over here.
That is Heidi.
Was that you?
Had a little squeak, or?
You opened a beer? What was that?
No, it was my Diet Pepsi Max.
Maximum caffeine, maximum...
That's what that means. Invigorating cola.
Well, let us know how it works out for you.
How many are you drinking a day now, Frosty?
I have cut back.
But how many were you up to?
Before the vacation, I was probably, seriously, I'm sort of a Diet Mountain Dew guy. And we're already here now. Sometimes Diet 7-Up if I'm watching my caffeine intake. But I was probably doing... Okay, the equivalent of the 2-liter bottle, I was doing at least one of those and maybe another drink or two on top of it.
A day?
A day.
Oh, Frosty.
Wow, how many cans is that?
Well, this is like a 16-ounce. I mean, I would probably have 3 of these during the show, and then I might have
maybe
another...
an 8-pack a day. If I was going to go by cans.
6 to 8, depending. Yeah.
Got bad news for you, man.
What?
Last night on the news, I was watching K-Cal 9.
Yes.
Are they still in business?
I think so. And I saw where they did a thing on soda. That there's been doing a study. It didn't matter if it was regular soda or diet soda.
I saw that too.
That it's killing you.
I thought about
you know.
I don't know the exact number. A 30% chance of obesity, increase in chance of obesity by drinking any kind of cola. Diet cola didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And then it had heart disease in the 20% and something else in the 20%. And that's just from one can a day.
Yeah, they said researchers found that those who drank more than one soda a day, Frosty, diet or regular, had an increased risk of metabolic syndrome. What is that, you ask? Metabolic syndrome is a cluster of symptoms that increase the risk for all of these things that I'm about to mention. Heart disease, larger waistlines, higher levels of blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, blood fats called triglycerides.
Blood fats?
But because even if it's just one soda a day, now, of course, the president of the American Beverage Association says, oh, but how dare they? The notion that diet drinks are associated with bulging waistlines defies common sense. She's saying, how can it's your theory, how can something that has 0 calories, it's 99% water, how can that make you fat? What they're saying is you drink a diet soda, it wakes up all these other things that are happening, and you crave sweet things, you crave salty things. So even though you're drinking diet soda, it makes you want more sweet food. So it's not really the soda that necessarily is making you fat.
Makes you want that sweet stuff.
It's what it craves. It's like if I all of a sudden I haven't eaten anything, and I have a drink of wine, I'm like, why can't I have some cheese? Ooh, cheese sounds good. Yeah, let's put some bread in. It's that it wakes up my appetite.
Being the fat ass. Well, there's actually 2 on the show now, but
you know what?
No, it is true.
F you both.
It is true. If you're starving all day and you have a bite to eat, it wakes up your appetite for a lot of you, me especially.
Oh, yeah.
It is true. And it is true that most sodas are loaded with caffeine, and caffeine has been shown to be an appetite stimulant. So if you've been starving yourself on a diet, like most of us dieters do, the wrong way to diet, and you have a couple of soda pops, yeah, your hunger, I think, gets worse because you stimulated the hunger. Having said that, here's the flaw with this most recent study. I heard that, too, and I thunked about it, and I came up with a couple theories. 1, if you're drinking even 1 diet soda a day, and especially if you're drinking 2 or 3 or more, you are, in fact, probably overweight, or you eat too much crap, and that's why you put on too much weight, and you are on a diet. Now, those sort of people, the sort of people who would usually...
Or there's 3. Or you think that this is just empty calories now. I'm just maintaining. Well, this doesn't count. It's like water.
Yeah, okay. But the point is, though, Frank, anyone who would selectively drink diet sodas like I do, that means I have a weight problem. I have crappy eating habits. That's what's going to give me high blood pressure, bad cholesterol, heart disease, blah, blah, blah. The fact I'm reaching for the diet soda means the rest of the day I eat crap.
Yeah, that's what they said last night. So
it doesn't mean the soda is causing it. It means the sort of person who would drink a diet soda
eats crap,
has poor eating habits, and that's what causes it. And the other thing is, if you do watch your weight, because you don't have 150 calories every glass full of sweet soda, and instead you have 0 with a diet soda, maybe you do lose weight, maybe you live longer because you're a little healthier, and the longer you live, Okay, now you've lived to be 85 years old. What happens when you're 85? You get heart disease, you have a stroke because you live longer and you become older. See what I mean? The older you get, the more things you get that will kill you.
All right, go ahead and die. I don't care. Drink your sodas. Drink your 8-pack a day.
It's not the fault of the diet soda. That's like misreading.
But the headline says diet soda linked to heart
blood
risk.
sugar counts.
Yep.
Diabetes.
Well, that's from all the crap you eat, and that's why you're sipping a diet soda.
Isn't your cholesterol high? Didn't your doctor say
terrible.
you were pre-diabetes?
Just different from cholesterol. Yeah, he did, and she did.
You have cholesterol-beaties.
That's the bad kind, I think.
My cholesterol reading was parquet. That's the one I still have a problem with, by the way. I've tried really hard. But I did that home test just after.
So if a chunk of that stuff breaks off from one of your arteries and makes its way to your brain or your heart, you're dead, right?
Yep.
Is that how it works? Stroke? Clogs the artery?
I don't know. I have no idea. I think so.
That's kind of icky.
If a chunk of that butter mountain in your heart breaks off.
Well, I've got the blood pressure under control. It's fine. 2 little pills.
Butter Mountain, a name for your CD.
Butter
I'm just
Mountain.
saying something, or the name of your dog. I don't know. Are we still naming your dog?
Yeah, I was going to go with the Land of Dairy Queen, but that's taken. So I'll go with Butter Mountain.
Frank, before the break, you were talking about smoking weed and people who did it, and social workers were on there, right?
Yep.
And Frosty couldn't understand why. Well, I think when I tell you the next story, and imagine yourself, you're a social worker, and you get a call to go to this one particular house to check on the children, of which there are 7. Yeah.
Was it a big shoe?
Lubbock, Texas, and the mom's 26. She's got 7 kids. What a winner. Anyway, so the Child Protective Service.
They have soda and sippy cups. I'll put $20 on it right now.
And they're eating sticks of butter and Pepsi out of sippy cups.
Does it get any worse? She has 7 kids and she has to live in Texas. Kill me now.
Right. Anyway, the CPS investigator showed up, and the only thing that she found for food in the whole entire house was a hot dog that was in the freezer. It was one hot dog, and it was in the freezer. And she found the home rat-infested, strewn with dirty diapers, and all the children said, no, we haven't had anything to eat at all. I mean, we've had nothing. They were very, very thin, and stacks of dirty diapers, rat, roach, lice infestations, and dirty diapers that were 4 feet high in closets.
If you're not eating anything, what are you pooping?
I'm guessing there was a baby there and probably eating mother's milk. So there was poop from somebody. But here is what the CPS investigator found. The children told the investigator, well, we're not allowed to open the refrigerator because the mom wasn't home. The 7 kids were there by themselves. And the kids said, oh, we're not allowed to open the refrigerator. And she says, well, what if you want food? And she says, well, we don't eat, usually. And Mom says, whatever you do, don't open that refrigerator door.
For God's sake, if I'm starving to death, screw you, Mom. I'm looking in there. Well,
sure enough, it was a good thing that they didn't because the investigator
Did they even know it was a refrigerator? Mom called it Devil's Box.
It's the portal to hell.
That's what
it sucks you in.
That's what it should have been called after what the investigator found.
Let me guess. A severed head.
Sort of. A little bigger than that.
A box of Spam.
Well, the
8th kid.
You're absolutely right.
Oh! Frank wins.
You looking at my homework.
No, a baby or an older kid that they were eating?
No, listen to this.
Was it eating the kid?
No, the mother had a miscarriage, and so she didn't know what to do with the baby. It was a fetus.
So she's making a casserole with it?
She put it in a baby wipe box. You know those baby wipes? So she emptied out the baby wipe and made it
kind of a little
baby
embryo
wipe,
coffin.
A little fetus coffin, and put the dead fetus from her miscarriage in the baby wipe box and put the baby wipe box in the refrigerator.
Hey, keeps the ice cream fresh.
Ooh. Keeps that freezer bird taste off.
So
ice, baby.
If you ever sit
I actually wrote that down, which I want to punch myself. Yeah.
Let me punch it.
I think you've punched me enough today.
It's a delayed punch.
Today? What have I said today? That your ass was fat?
That I'm getting fat?
I said throw those jeans away. I play in the denim, not you.
That was the smallest thing I had in my closet. I brought that in. Do you like them?
No, you didn't. No, we're doing that tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to go through our closets.
We actually wrote it down, homework assignment.
I've got some clothes from the 80s that look like the clothes from my grandson.
No, I don't.
Bring them in, or are we wearing them?
No, we'll bring them in.
I can't wear them, Frank. They won't fit on me anymore. I just have to hold them up next to me.
Do you have something in mind at your closet?
I got to go.
You got to look. You got to search. Okay.
The smallest, oldest thing. Okay. By the way, back to the thing in the fridge for a second.
Yeah.
Have you ever put anything in the fridge? I've done this.
Have you?
No. I take it out.
Why do you even own a fridge?
Nothing ever goes in.
Really?
Or
you don't need to save
The
anything.
only thing in my fridge, I've got 2 shelves of beer. The middle and bottom shelf are bottles of every brand.
Oh, God.
Like a brewery in there. The top shelf, It's got some Diet Mountain Dews in there.
You know there's cheese. There's got to be cheese.
There was some cheese. It's gone. But occasionally, I'll set something in there. I do have a water... We used to call them bubblers, but a water cooler, with the big 5-gallon thing.
Right. Yeah.
For cold water. Now and then I have a water. But I won't finish the glass. But I'm so cheap because I know that costs money. I'll set it in the fridge, and then I drink it 2 hours later, and it's absorbed the refrigerator smell.
Kind of defeats the whole purpose of bottled water.
The water tastes like the fridge plastic. Can you imagine if you had a dead baby soaking in a... The absorbent.
Yeah.
Kind of a wang to this. What is that?
This piece of watermelon tastes funny.
My 8th child.
How long was it in there, did it say?
No, it didn't say.
Did she just have it?
Apparently, because they wouldn't keep that long.
Maybe you forgot, though.
No way.
Forgot?
You've never...
Forgot you had a dead baby in the fridge?
Have you ever cleaned your refrigerator?
I forgot I bought tomatoes 3 weeks ago, and they're in the crisper, and I'm going, oh, my God,
right,
what kind of
we're going to
science?
bring the smallest thing in our closet, the oldest thing in our fridge.
I can definitely do
There's
that.
stuff that you forgot in there.
Okay, I'll bring that in tomorrow. That'll be interesting.
I just have beer that's past its born date.
Well, whatever you got, bring it in.
However, when I moved out from my apartment years ago, this is Milwaukee, Frank. This is a story going way back. I remember I thought, I need to check the fridge. Just somewhere to turn my keys in. And like you, Heidi, I pulled the crisper drawer out. There were like 4 mummies in there. I thought, what the hell are these? Should I call like an Egyptologist? I've made an amazing find. I've got little pharaohs or something. They were ears of corn I'd bought maybe 2 years earlier. Put them in there and never opened that drawer again. That's like me and vegetables have this thing going on. We don't associate with each other.
God.
So one time I was in the grocery store, past the vegetable aisle. I must have got lost. Well, I'll make some fresh corn on the cob. Bought them. Last I ever saw them. 2 years later, there they are. Look like Tammy Faye Baker wrapped up in a hush.
Isn't it weird, though, how your mood and your craving can change that much from the actual... You're at the grocery store. You're grilling corn on the cob, buttering it up, putting seasoning. That's what you're going to do as soon as you get home. How does it change that drastically from... Then you don't even know you have them, and you don't know until 2 years later.
My problem with, though, I always forget, is the sack of potatoes.
Oh, yeah.
They don't really go in the fridge. They don't. So it's like, where do you put them? No, I put them under the sink one time, and when was the last time I looked under the sink? Never. Open it up because something stinks. And I thought my garbage disposal had cancer. It's like all these tumors growing out of everywhere. I'm like, oh, what the hell?
Oh, yeah, they grow.
And they start getting those, like, weird white things that start growing.
Beanstalks and
eyes.
Potato buds.
Beanstalks. When your potatoes grow beanstalks, they're really old.
Yeah. Just cut the bad part out. We'll save the good.
There's nothing like picking up that old rotten tomato that you bought like last summer, and it disintegrates in your hands, squish, plop,
You're left with a little piece of skin.
It makes tomato water. But when you bought it, think of how nice it looked at the time. Well, I'll have a fresh slice of tomato tonight. Yeah, right.
A little olive oil, a little pepper, a little
next to the cantaloupe
salad.
you go. The old squishy cantaloupe.
Don't you feel better, though, knowing that everybody does that? You have all these good intentions. I'm going to get healthy. I'm going to have cantaloupe tonight for dessert, and then you have ice cream.
The only vegetables I've had the last decade have been onions on my pizza. That's it. Pickles on my hamburger, I think. Larry in Fontana, you're with Frosty, Heidi, and Frank.
Yeah, on that story about the 7 kids, how the lady got caught. They went out there because the mom had called a funeral home. But maybe that they found in the freezer.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, they get like a small casket. And they thought it was weird, so they called the cops, and then they called social worker to come out.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
She wanted to have a funeral for her miscarriage?
Well, yeah, because it was
one in the box or something.
I guess it was big enough. I mean, it was like it fit in so I don't know how far along you are when the baby can fit into a baby wipe box. I don't think you have a funeral for a clot.
She probably wasn't that far along.
Well, you don't have a funeral for a clot. I mean, obviously it had to look like a baby. That's what the CPS worker knew it was. I mean, if you're a month in and you have a miscarriage, I think it's just a mass of cells.
Yeah, you won't even know what it is.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So I think
that's when you use the garbage disposal.
The CPS worker clearly went, ooh, my Lord, that's a baby. So she had to be kind of far along for somebody to go, ooh, look, arms and legs and fingers. You know what I mean?
A couple months, probably. Maybe 3 months in.
3 months, you're only as big as a thumb.
So borderline, you passed abortion date, then you lost it. You're still going to come out with that big old eye.
Yeah, I'm picturing it very small.
Bury me, Mommy.
God.
I'm picturing like the size of a pickle, like a little small
no, see,
thing.
I was picturing like it filled the box.
Are you hungry or something? That's the second time you mentioned pickles.
A baby gherkin.
Actually, third time.
Ooh, it is the third time.
What was that couple that was in the news? It might have been just before we went on vacation, because I don't think we talked about it on the air, but I had the story for a while. The couple that neglected their kids because they were internet addicts. Did you see that? The kids.
The retarded kids in cages?
I don't know if they were in cages.
Oh, they had bunk beds where they had cages so they wouldn't get out of bed?
That's not the same story.
But these kids are like starving to death, emaciated, living in feces and urine and lice and all that, kind of like your kids there. But the parents were fine. They just spent all their waking hours addicted to the internet, playing games and surfing the web, and the kids were left to fend for themselves, just starving to death, roaming through the house.
You realize those would be your children. You're like, hang on, I've got to do one more Slingo game. I promise, just one more.
She went to virtual Ralph's.
I bought you guys some virtual Cocoa Puffs and Frosted Flakes.
No, you stop that crying or I'll smack you with my Scrabble Blast finger.
What the, is that really something?
Oh, my God. It is, because the geeks were talking about it at work the other day. Ron Lipkin, one of our production guys who I love, I'm in there to do a thing, and he goes, do you do online gaming at all? And I go, no. And Frosty had to come in to cut a commercial, too. And he goes, have you ever heard of Scrabble Blast? And sure enough, Frosty opens the door just that time and goes, oh, my God! Scrabble Blast is the best thing. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go. I'll let you nerds work it out, and I'll be back.
Scrabble Blast finger.
Between that and
my God. There's two of them.
Look at the size of the muscle on my pointer finger.
It should be dirty. Right there, a punch bowl and glass bottom boat. I gave her the Scrabble Blast finger last night.
I'm going to try that.
You want to sniff my Scrabble Blast finger? Look at the size, look at the width and the muscles in my pointer.
Yeah, you have muscles in your finger.
My mouse clicking finger. It's like Olympian.
That's your prostate tickling finger.
Look at that. That's from clicking the mouse, playing these stupid games like Lotso and Scrabble.
Scrabble Blaster.
That's your milk finger.
Oh, my God.
Try it.
The two of you got so excited. And you were like, do you play them on AOL? And he goes, no, I play them on MSN. Oh, I didn't know MSN had games. I'm like, oh, my God.
Let's make a turning room and have a tourney sometime. It could be too. But
yeah, these two. I could run faster down the hallway.
No, anyway.
It's impossible.
So I can understand this terrible couple letting the kids starve to death. You know, they have a tourney going on.
Right.
Sorry. John in Pasadena. You with Frosty, Heidi, and Frank.
Frank, you mentioned you had potatoes under your sink.
Yeah.
Check it. We had a roommate who was a trucker, and he liked to leave little trophies and gifts behind. He had a potato on a plate on a bookshelf, and he called it his bonsai potato. This thing had roots growing out of it, and he called it his bonsai potato. It grew up to be about a foot tall.
They do that?
Yeah, if you just leave them in darkness, they'll grow.
Yeah, he left it in the light, so it kind of had this weird other growth on it, too, and it kind of reached for the window. It was pretty gross.
Hang on, you're saying if I want to get out. If I leave a potato, let's say I bury it, a potato from the store, and I put it in dirt on the side.
I think, yeah, that's how they do it.
That's fascinating to me. You can make more potatoes with just the one potato?
Yeah, who knew?
No, you plant some apple seeds there, too, genius. Jesus Christ.
I actually tried that. I never had an apple tree grow. Have you? I didn't have an apple tree coming out of my styrofoam cup in the third grade.
You know, I hope someday modern science can make it so I can grow an apple pie tree in my backyard. Now that's something I'd like to do. Frosty, Heidi, and Frank.
Apple peaches, pumpkin pie.
97.1, the FM talk station live in L.A. We are Frosty, Heidi, and Frank.
Now, Heidi was telling us a story about a woman in Texas with 7 children on her way to having her 8th child that didn't quite make it all the way. Had a miscarriage, put the baby in a baby wipe dispenser, those little plastic, holds quite a bit of baby wipes, as its little embryo coffin.
Yeah.
And she planned on burying it in the backyard and have a little funeral.
I guess so, yeah. She was keeping it in the refrigerator.
And you thought it was just a blob, a jelly life mass?
No, I thought it was a baby. No, I'm saying you wouldn't have a funeral for a blob, but if the CPS worker shows up at the house and opens the baby white box container and goes, oh my God, that's a baby. It had to have like eyes and fingers.
Shelley, she worked in a hospital laboratory and she received a 12-week-old fetus. Just 12-week fetus because it wouldn't be old. It was the size of her thumb, but you could see arms, legs, and even had its hand in its mouth.
Oh, my God.
Oh, 12 weeks.
Don't smoke, Mommy.
Oh, no.
Thumb size. Well, I was closer with the pickle reference then.
Okay, so
that's 3 months, Heidi.
Why wouldn't you... See, if you put it in a baby wipe box, it's obvious. You think baby because it's baby wipe. You go, hey, that looks like a baby. She should put it in a Kleenex box. And then she go, oh, no, I had a bloody nose and blew my nose. Because you wouldn't be thinking a baby then. You're thinking bloody nose, snot, whatever, and you're not going to investigate it. But it was in a baby wipe box.
Yeah.
See, that's how she got caught.
Oh, my God, there's something the size of the thumb that has... Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, that's terrible.
God.
Anyway.
Nice.
Well, kid never made it past the kitchen.
Kind of like you.
It's my unborn twin. Well, sort of born twin. Whatever. Ryan in Torrance, you're with Frosty, Heidi, and Frank.
What's up, guys? I love you. Frosty, they don't give you enough credit. You're great.
See, the masses have spoken.
Are you a waiter at Mexicali?
What do you want to
Yes,
tip him?
I am. Yeah, I'm not going to get into that.
What do you want, Ryan?
No, you know what? My mom had left. We're walking around the house, and there's this disgusting smell for 2 weeks. What is it? What is it? And she realizes, she opens a potato drawer, and the potatoes had rotted out the bottom of the drawer and gone all the way down, but it was a pile of mush. Rotted out the melamine completely, and it was 3/4-inch melamine that had rotted out.
Yeah.
Imagine that smell.
Yeah, when they get old, they're like, one of the bottoms start liquefying, and just that nasty potato juice.
Nasty juice. Question for you real quickly, since we're still talking about kids and stuff.
About nasty juice and children?
Kids, aborted fetuses, and
now
and
something
potatoes.
Frosty knows about.
Let's say you can both play this game. You and your wife have a baby, and your first baby, and there's something severely wrong with it. It has severe mental disability and cannot communicate in any way. I mean, it's severely mentally retarded. Okay. Some sort of genetic disorder. And you say to your doctor, you know, is there any chance, you know, we can testing, and is this something that we just carry, and any kid we're going to have will have this, or is this is the luck of the draw and he happens to have the disorder? And the doctor says to you, no, this is just about your son, any other children you have, low chances.
He tells you can have another and it'll be fine.
It'll be completely normal. So you go, yay, we're going to try again to have a baby.
Do you keep the first one, or does it mysteriously disappear in the middle of the night?
Keep the first one. But, you know, it's lifelong care, but you're like, okay, hopeful that you're going to get a baby that's, you know, quote-unquote normal.
Make a bedroom up in the attic.
So you and your wife have sex. She gets pregnant. She has another baby, and, oh, boy. Let's see.
Strike two.
Oh.
Strike two. Now, same problem.
Well, the doctor...
Same exact disorder.
Yeah. So they go back to the doctor. This is in the paper out of Tampa, Florida. It's being called a wrongful birth case. This exact thing happened. The scenario I just set up. So they go back to the doctor saying, hang on a second. You said that if we had another baby, it would be fine. And the doctor's saying, yeah, seemed like...
Didn't get a second opinion, eh?
Yeah, didn't get a second opinion. This kid has a genetic disorder called Smith-Lemli-Opitz syndrome. And if it had been correctly diagnosed, a test would have indicated that their second child would also be afflicted. They're suing because they're saying, think how awful this would be if your mom and dad said, if we had known you were going to turn out the way you turned out, we'd have had an abortion. And that's exactly what the parents saying. It's a wrongful birth. If I'd have known
well,
it was going to happen.
Well, that kid's never going to know that the parents said that because he's got the low pits.
Yeah, let's hope he's so retarded he doesn't know. Do they have a basis for a lawsuit then? I mean, they're suing, but will they win?
They sued and they won more than $21 million.
And that makes it all better than does it.
Wait. How is a retarded kid worth $21 million?
Because it costs a lot to take care of. But they're saying both children
I feel like a failure.
Are
a little high.
Are developmentally disabled. They
can't do crap.
They have multiple birth defects. They're neither one of them are able to communicate.
Yeah, but they can't sue for the first one. They can only sue for the cost of raising the second one.
That's exactly what they did.
It takes $21 million to raise. Well, I guess there's a lot of work.
They said
$21 million worth? No.
24 hours. I mean, the kid can't do
anything. Forever. And they have a normal life expectancy. So this isn't, about 13 these kids usually die. No, they're just this way, and they could live to be 80, 90 years old, like a normal expectancy of a regular human being. So the attorneys for this couple are seeking at least enough money to care for that second child, 2-year-old Caleb, for the rest of his life. That's where they're coming up with the $21 million figure, like hospital visits.
And the lawyers will take a third.
Somebody's got to take...
And the kids will never know mom and dad. They'll be blank faces looking into their eyes.
Yeah, severely developmentally disabled, multiple birth defects, and are not able to communicate.
How tough would it be? Oof. If you get that $21 million check, the lawyer takes a third. So what's that leave you? $14 million? Yeah, you got $14 million left, whatever. How tough would it be to stick that $14 million away and not touch a penny of it, to spend every penny on the child's care. I'd be so tempted to go house shopping, car shopping.
Of course you would.
See? So the money they try to tell you is to raise the kid for the next 65 years. No, they'll get part of it, but you're going to spend most of it.
Yeah.
Suddenly you have a boat.
I'm going to have a new boat and start giving the kids anchor rides.
Right.
Oh, my God.
Want to go see Lacey Peterson?
Wow.
That's awful, though, Heidi. It's terrible.
The jury decided that the doctor was 90% negligent and...
90% negligent?
Yeah, and another doctor not named in the lawsuit was 10% negligent.
You're only 90... You're not 100% negligent. You're only 90...
names on the door?
I guess so. He's like he was the head doctor. And the other doctor's like going, yeah, you'll probably have another one. It'll be okay. So he's like, 10% fault, the other one's 90. So that's how they got the lawsuit.
I'm with Frank early on. You said the obvious thing I think any intelligent person would do would be get a second opinion, because you damn sure don't want to talk to someone who's wrong on this. But they didn't get a second opinion. They just trusted that one guy and said, okay, the doc says it's fine. It popped out another baby. Well, they're kind of stupid.
I mean, we would get it. Well, it's Florida. We
there
would
you
get
go.
a second opinion, but don't you have that, if you had that doctor who was with you through your first pregnancy and he seemed like a good doctor and a good guy and he seems smart and you're believing him and he's comforting you and,
Doesn't
he's
matter.
saying.
It's one guy who can make mistakes or a lab makes mistakes. I don't care what it is. If they tell you got cancer, you get a second opinion.
Yeah,
They tell you got AIDS, you get a second opinion. They tell you whatever, you get a second opinion. Or a third. Especially if the downside is if they're wrong, you're stuck with a kid to raise.
You get stuck with people saying, yeah, everyone says you have cancer and we can't do anything about it. You still go try to find the doctor who can do something about it.
Exactly.
Jeez.
Yeah, you don't stop until you get the answer you want. No, you have cancer. No, I'm getting a second opinion. You have cancer. Well, I'm getting a third opinion. I don't see any cancer. Perfect. I don't have it.
Finally,
Yay.
that guy's the genius.
Right.
He stopped the additional opinions with that one. But all the others were.
I like that guy. Yeah, who do you believe? Jeez.
I'd be a great doctor then. You don't have it.
Yay, champagne.
So would anyone ever go see this other doctor? He probably has liability insurance, but Dr. Whoops will see you now.
Yeah, have another kid.
Dr.
Have 3.
Oopsie.
Do over. Dr. Mulligan.
Dr. Mulligan, your patient. Dr. Settlement, waiting. Greg, you're with Frosty, Heidi, and Frank.
Hey, Frosty, hey, how you guys doing? Love your show.
Hey, Greg.
Yeah, I know we picked, you guys don't really pick your time too much, but as Heidi is telling her story about the fetus in the refrigerator, I was starting to take a bite of my salad out here from El Pollo Loco, and I almost spit it up.
Salads, are those leafy, green, vegetable-y things?
Mm-hmm. They have some sort of dressing on them.
I've heard
vegetables.
of them, but I've never actually seen one.
Well, it could have been worse, Greg. I mean, salads, that's not too bad.
Yeah, I'm trying to eat healthier, just like Frosty doesn't do. But anyways, I enjoy listening to you guys. You guys are awesome. I'm sure I'm not the only one thinking about lunchtime at 12:30. I know.
Sorry,
we're doing what we can for the waistline of America.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And our goal is to be on the middle of the night, so it won't affect anyone's lunch.
You might get grossed out during a midnight snack, but other than that, you'll be fine.
All right, you're with Frosty, Heidi, and Frank.
Yeah, guys. Frank.
What?
You need to apologize for the anchor rides.
Why'd you laugh too hard?
Yes, I did, and I apologize to my conscience for that, too. I'm still dealing with it. That's all I have to say. Hey, love you guys. Heidi, you're hot as hell still. Don't forget that.
Thanks, Art. I appreciate it.
Bye, you guys.
Thank you.
I do feel for parents who have children with mental disorders like that. I was watching, it might have been Bryant Gumbel, Real Sports or something, and this guy and his son, who's mentally handicapped, can't really do anything. I mean, I don't think he can control his own wheelchair. He just kind of sits there and he can't talk, but he has a machine that will talk for him, but he's got to like type for an hour or look at, I don't know, he's one of those guys. For some reason, he hasn't been able to communicate with his kid, but the dad's like, well, my son, he's real competitive, so he started doing triathlons.
Oh, I saw these guys.
Where he swims and he swims and he tows a kid in a boat who's just like laying in this dinghy, and then he gets out and gets on the bike or runs like a baby stroller. And the kid's sitting there. He's like, it's on the front.
Frosty, it's amazing.
Dad pushes him, then he's sitting like in a basket on the bike, and the guy's riding a bike. And this guy's in his 60s now, and this is sort of a grown man. The guy's in his late 20s, I think. And the wife left him. And so he's just basically with his son, and he goes around running triathlons with dragging his son through it.
Frosty, it's amazing.
And once they got the kid the voice machine, he's like, talked about how much he enjoys the triathlon. I mean, he never knew before then.
I thought you were going to say the voice was saying finally they plugged in. He says, "Put me down."
Right. Can we stay home already?
Can I get a Dramamine?
Leave me alone.
Frosty, it's an amazing. This is the dad, and maybe we'll try to find it on YouTube because you should see it. And there was the video that I saw was put.
I actually cried.
I did too.
From the story by Bryant Gumbel.
You can't help but cry.
Very
but Frosty,
touching, but kind of creepy too.
The guy says that he was kind of an overweight guy and kind of just typical guy letting himself go, and his son basically saved his life by doing this. And now he's this guy. He is in such great shape and just so fit. And he's saying, my son.
Well, he did have a heart attack.
Saved me.
But he lived because he's in such good shape.
So you see, it's like in the end, it was like the angels knew he was going to be dead soon, so they sent him
much better man than
helpless son.
Wow. I'm like, what a bitch woman. She left.
How could you leave that? It's an amazing story.
Well,
amazing. Men.
I think I'd leave too. I mean, at some point, if his life is all about running around with the 20-something-year-old retarded kids strapped to handlebars.
When you watch this video, you will weep.
Really?
I cried.
You can't help it. I mean,
does a kid?
It's powerful stuff.
So the kid is aware.
Oh yeah.
It's not just a sleeping blob.
No,
he's
aware. You kind of see smiles on the face when they're crossing the finish line, but he can't communicate at all. I mean, that's pretty much it.
Do you think the kid was ever educated so that does he still think like an infant where he just looks at the pretty lights and goes ooh and ah?
No.
Or do you think he's a 23-year-old brain in there who knows?
I don't think he's dumb. He just can't communicate.
Really?
Yeah, he's like cerebral. Something's wrong.
How do you know if he can't communicate? You're assuming. But
he
how do you
can now because he has his talking machine.
And his adult thoughts that are coming out. It's not like goo goo ba ba bee bee bee. It's.
I would really like to get laid.
I don't know if it sounds like that. Did it sound like that?
I can't remember.
I don't know.
Well, regular voice would have been, interesting. Not that was.
The interviewer asked him, if because he can't talk, what do you think your voice would sound like if you had it? And he's like, sexy.
He's funny too.
Yeah.
This could be a magician's trick. It's probably the dad.
The
dad who has a keyboard in his pocket, and then the son probably just, the thing ain't even hooked up. He's like David Blaine.
That's touching stuff. So, yeah, we make jokes, but we also care.
Oh,
I do want to see this. I'll have to search for that on YouTube.
Do YouTube. I can't remember what song they put this one particular video to, but it's unbelievably touching. Like to your bones. Not that one.
You should do that, Heidi, with your dog. Run triathlons, drag it in a dinghy.
Oh, I should.
How tough is it? Would you say he's riding bikes with him, too?
It's like a like a baby seat on the front of a bike.
And was he running with his son as well, running?
Like a jogging stroller.
So I can understand if you're running with a little, like a papoose.
He's passing people. I feel like such a loser when I'm getting beat by the guy pushing a kid.
And the guy's like regular size. He's not shriveled like a child.
He's shriveled a little bit. I mean, obviously he can't move, so his muscles.
A little atrophied, but he's a grown man.
He's a small guy, but he's in his 40s, and his dad's in his 60s. Yeah, I think he's like in his 40s.
Oh my God, I'll do a search for this.
I'm sure somebody will send it to us.
Max in Northridge. I'm with Frosty, Heidi, and Frank.
Hey, how's it going, Frosty?
Hey, Max.
I just wanted to call and comment. Did see the show that Frank's talking about. It was on Real Sports.
Did you cry, Max?
I didn't cry, but it's pretty amazing. It's like really old guy. I mean, he's old now, but they showed clips of him when he first started with his son. It's like just, dragging this guy everywhere with him, swimming with him, you know what I mean? And he's a grown man.
You didn't cry?
I didn't cry.
How did you not cry?
No, I mean, I'm not a really sensitive person when it comes to stuff like that.
That is one of those that no matter what.
Now, when you have a son someday, you'll cry.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But, I mean, he's actually, the son is actually a college graduate.
He's a smart guy. Yeah,
he ended up going to school. I remember that. Cat down and everything.
Take that, Frank. He graduated. You didn't.
Yeah, but he also has a girlfriend. You don't.
Oh, touche.
Ooh.
This is going to be good.
Sandy, Woodland Hills. Hi, Sandy, quickly.
Hi, this gentleman has been to our church many times, and although Frank's not going to like this, he really speaks of his faith in God and his being saved and so on and so forth as to what has driven him to do this for his son.
I don't care what motivated him to do that. I just think it's a great story. And you watch that and you will feel like the laziest person in the world.
Yeah.
Very
And you will
inspiring.
cry.
Sandy, we do have to break, but what's going to happen when the father eventually, dies from old age and mom's gone? From the guy's standpoint, the patient, whatever you call it, the
son,
the afflicted.
Yes.
Suddenly, his life of being carted around doing fun stuff comes to a crashing halt.
Yeah.
Well, the son has, for as much as he's able to, as strong a faith in God and Jesus Christ and so on and so forth.
And that's fine. I'm just saying the physical stuff will stop when Dad is gone.
Jesus will carry him.
Yeah, Jesus can start on triathlons.
You don't live worrying about things like that because, he may die before his father. You just don't live every day thinking about things like that when you believe, and that they have a group surrounding them that's unbelievable.
Yeah, he's motivated dads everywhere with kids like this, and you see him out there now pushing their kids. And, well, if he can do it, it's something you could do with your kid, I guess.
It's truly inspirational.
I do want to see it now because just the thought of it when you started was kind of odd and silly. The visual in my brain. But I haven't physically seen it, I guess.
You'll feel like the laziest human being ever, the fact that you can't get off the couch. You couldn't even run a mile if we put money on it right now.
Yeah, but he feels that way just watching other people walk. God, I'm lazy.
I get winded just watching television. I don't feel so bad when I look at the picture album. No one's moving. Unless I've been drinking.
Oh, God.
Okay, we'll be back. Don't forget the show is live Friday at Knott's Berry Farm. Back with your calls in a bit. 888-520-9710. We're Frosty, Heidi, and Frank. This is 97.1, the FM talk station. Frosty, Heidi, and Frank.
During the break there, I looked up on YouTube trying to find the father and son triathlete team, and ended up being Dick and Rick Hoyt. Team Hoyt, so if you want to look it on YouTube, watch that story. It's something else.
We just had a short commercial break. I only saw a couple minutes of it. You're right. It was starting to be very moving there. We had to come back on the air. I'll watch the rest of that tonight. I didn't understand until I saw that video that the afflicted, the kid, whatever, was so perfectly aware of what was going on. I thought he'd be more sedated or vegetable-like or just being pushed like a lump. But no, he's as conscious as the dad. So when they crossed the finish line, he's celebrating, too, with his arms out, even though he was, pushed.
Right. But he just can't move or speak.
Wow. I want to see the rest of this tonight.
You'll weep.
Well,
grab your box of Kleenex, but I know you always carry it around with you at home.
I always have tissues with me. You never know.
Ew. You're like an old lady that shoves up her wrist sleeve.
There may be a 2-for-1 sale at Bed Bath & Beyond. I may burst into tears at any time.
Damn hormones.
So Rick and Dick Hoyt, H-O-Y-T, I think is how we found that.
H-O-Y-T, yeah.
888-520-9710. Hello, Jennifer.
Hey, how are you? I'm calling from Encino. I'm actually doing Pilates as I speak to you. And I got to tell you guys, I'm so glad you brought that up because triplets, Heidi, it's the most powerful thing. I cried too. They were actually on Oprah, and the dude is in college now.
I thought he graduated.
Did he graduate?
Yeah, he graduated.
So, he's more than conscious. He's smarter than I am.
Oh, yeah, he's very smart.
Mm-hmm. What's he going to do with his degree?
Who knows? But
it's great. It's great to soak in knowledge. I'm for that. I just wonder what the major is.
You just never exercise it.
No, I don't use the knowledge I have. But.
The major is finding a purpose to live, isn't it? Which obviously his father found, and it's just so awesome and so inspiring. And it's the kind of thing where we can't ever feel, we can't complain anymore. By the way, Heidi, I got to give you kudos for your animal work, darling. I saw you at the Mutts thing a year ago, and you rock. You were a great judge.
Thank you, Jennifer. Appreciate it.
You were a great judge.
Anything for the animals. You were?
Yeah. I'm Richard's wife.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, yes.
Yes,
Jennifer.
www.prizeplanet.com. Go save a dog today. Go rescue some dogs.
Enjoy your Pilates.
Bye.
Just remember, you're one letter away from doing Pirates.
Maybe she has now.
First punch of the day goes to Frosty's face.
Patrick, you're with Frosty, Heidi, and Frank.
What's up, guys? How you guys doing?
Fine.
I just wanted to talk to you. Frank, you guys, you're great. You make my day every day.
Thank you.
And Heidi, you're hot. And Frosty, my mom says if I don't have anything good to say about someone, don't say anything, so take that.
Well, who am I to argue with your mom?
Well, Frank, do you watch Family Guy, right?
Yes, I do.
All right. Well, you realize that the guy in the wheelchair that shows up Family Guy sounds exactly like that kid from the story that you're talking about? I saw that piece on HBO.
I never made the connection.
Sounds like a Family Guy?
But yeah, I will try to make that connection next time. It's the guy with the voice box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they all sound alike.
Yeah, I think all the voice boxes sound the same.
The high-tech models, we've talked about this, you can request better ones if you have the money, because Stephen Hawking has one with an accent, a British accent. They actually have them to the level now where you can sound more like a real voice, complete with dialects and accents. You can choose what you want. Like I'd choose, I don't know, maybe a Nazi German sounding, I don't know. I have to think. Maybe
she's like a Southern belle.
That's what it be.
I do declare I need my ass wiped.
Every sentence starts with I do declare.
I got the baby. I do declare I'm hungry.
We're Frosty, Heidi, and Frank.
Southern California's FM Talk Station, 97.1 Free FM.